Welcome to your first Pilates for Runners workout. I look very forward to working with you over these next few days. We are going to be focusing on a lot of flexibility, mobility, and stability, as well as core strength and control. Let's get straight into it. We're going to be starting in the center of our mat in a standing position. We want to lengthen that spine, and I want you to imagine there's a little circle around that foot on the outside and on that floor, and you are bending that right leg, extending that left leg out in front of you. Hands are out and extended, and you are slowly drawing that left foot along that imaginary circle as far as you can go around and back up into that high knee. And we are going to do 5 of these on each side, so slow and controlled, keeping that knee in that stability and allowing that core to keep strong while you draw those scaps down your back. We've got 2 more of these. And last one. And leading through that stabilizing heel, lifting up and holding arms into T for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Try not to brace that stabilizing foot. 2, 1. Rotating that right shoulder forward as you rotate that left shoulder back, and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly back to center and changing over to do that same thing. We've got that imaginary circle on that floor, stabilizing with that left leg, slight bend in that knee, deep breath in, and slowly circulating. And challenge yourself. I want you to go as far as you can. Make the radius of that circle as wide as you can, leading through that heel, lifting up. And that's 1. Keeping that core tight. And back up. Very nice. Keep going. We've got 2 more after this one. Remember to stabilize with that knee. And last one after this one, I want you to use your core to draw yourself around and back up. And last one. Pulling as far as you can all the way around. Lean to the side and lifting up and holding arms into T for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rotating that left shoulder forward as you rotate that right shoulder back, and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly dropping that leg down and just walking to the end of your mat. And I want you to lift that left leg up again, and we're going to reach forward into a Superman hold position, extending both legs and slowly dropping that knee down and back up for 6 counts, lengthening as far as you can. And that's 2 and 3. Keep working, trying to get that body parallel to the mat. 4 and 5 and 6, and holding, lengthening as far as you can, and holding for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly toe tapping with that back leg. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Keeping those arms parallel. 5, 6, 7 and 8. Slowly coming back up to drop that left foot. It's going to be the stabilizing leg now. Lengthening yourself forward into that single leg Superman hold, extending as much as you can. Deep breath in and exhale, lower and back up. That's 1 and 2 and 3 4 and 5 and 6, and lifting up and extending, getting ready for our toe taps and toe tap. That's 1 and 2 and 3, stabilizing and keeping those arms parallel. 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, lengthening and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lifting yourself back up and coming to the end of that mat. Let's lengthen that spine, inhaling and exhaling, tucking in chin, head, neck and chest all the way down, rounding that vertebra, slight bend in the knees as you draw your arms all the way to the mat. Deep breath in, exhale, tucking in from those abdominals, rolling yourself all the way back up, opening that chest. We're going to do 2 more of these, tucking in chin, neck and chest all the way down, 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 allowing the body to stretch out. Inhale, exhale, rolling yourself out all the way to standing. Last one, we're going to stay down there, inhaling and exhaling, slowly rolling all the way down, grabbing your opposite elbows with your hands. Allow that body to fill. You're inhaling, exhaling, opening that right side of your trunk as you squeeze to the left. Inhale back to center to open that left trunk as you squeeze to the right, and 1 more on each side. And back to center, extending your arms, palms facing each other. Let's extend that upper back and holding up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dropping down and slowly walking those hands to the center of that mat as you rotate that pelvis up towards the ceiling. I want that tailbone rotated upwards, pushing both heels into the ground and drawing your head through those arms. Let's bend that right knee as you push that left heel into the ground, and we're going to walk out those calves, allowing a muscular stretch as well as a neuro stretch down the back of those legs. And 3, 2, and 1, pushing both heels into the ground and rotating that pelvis up towards the ceiling as you draw your head through those arms, and slowly extending that right leg up towards the ceiling, bending it in and bringing it into a lunge position, stacking that vertebra. We're going to reach forward as we allow those hip flexors to stretch out. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling and slowly back to center to open that right shoulder towards the wall behind you as you come back. And we're going to do 4 of these, reaching forward, bringing arms up towards the sky, coming back to center and opening those shoulders. That's 2. And opening. And last one. We're leaning forward, allowing that hip flexor to stretch out. And opening that chest 1 more time. Back to center, placing both hands on the mat. And bringing that leg back, lifting yourself up, pushing that tailbone towards the ceiling, pushing those heels into the ground and bringing your left leg next to your hands, coming into knee position and stacking that vertebra and leaning forward as you lift arms up to the sky and coming back and opening that left shoulder behind you, following your hand with your eyes and reaching up. That's 2. Allow that body to stretch out. 3. And last one, opening that chest. And all the way up. And placing both hands on the mat. And staying in this all fours position. I want you to engage that core. Wrists are comfortably under those shoulders. Knees are comfortably under those hips. We are tucking those toes in under our feet. And we are going to draw our scaps down our back. We're inhaling and exhaling, lifting and hovering those knees off the floor for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight into knee clamps. We're pulling our knees away and back to center. That's 1 and 2 and 3. Using those glutes. 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Keep going. 8, 9 and 10. Straight into chest touches, core nice and tight. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you're not leaning from side to side as you go. And 1 more on each side. And back into that all fours. From here, we are extending right leg out, left leg out into push up, back up, and back in. That's our rep. That's 1. And let's go. And 2. And 3. And try lead for the first 5 with your right foot, and then the next 5 with your left. So we're going to change over now. Left foot out first. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And slowly dropping those knees in and leaning into that rest position, pushing those shoulders into the ground. We're going to walk our hands all the way to the left hand side. Very nice, everyone. I hope you are feeling that sweat and enjoying it. And slowly walking over towards the other side. We're going to do a number of sequences and variations in that position. Coming back to center, coming back into that all fours. We are going to lift and hover our knees off the floor again, but this time I want you to have your feet completely on the mat. So you're not tucking your toes in, your feet are on the mat. Taking a deep breath in, lifting those knees off the floor, leaning back, and then slightly over those hands. That's 1 and 2, keeping that core tight as you lean backwards and forwards, making sure you're not hyperextending that back. And 5 and 6. We have 4 more. 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, and lifting and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly down and leaning back into that rest position, pushing the shoulders into the ground, allowing that heart rate to slowly recover for a few moments before we continue. Coming back up into that all fours, lifting those knees off the floor. We're going to do that same thing backwards and forwards, but now our toes are tucked in under our feet, let's lift those knees off the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, leaning back and then forward. That's 1. And leaning as far forward as you can. 2, if you have to, you can bring those hands a little bit more away from that body. 3 and 4 and 5. Keep going. 6. Keeping core tight. 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Lifting up and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly opening those knees larger than shoulder width apart and leaning all the way back into that rest position. We're going to do that entire bunch of sequences from the top. Hope you're ready. Let's get back into it. Getting back onto those all fours, getting ready to do our 10-second hold with our clams and chest touches. Deep breath in, exhale, lifting up and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and opening those knees away from each other, then back to center. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Back to center into chest touches, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready for our push-ups as we extend our knees out. That's 1 and 2. Keep going. 3, leading with that right first. 4 and 5, changing over to that left, and 1 and 2 and 3, 2 more, and 4, last one, and 5. Back in, dropping those knees and leaning into that rest position, pushing the shoulders into the ground. Let's come back into all fours, getting ready for our forward and backward leans with our toes on the mat. Let's lift those knees off the floor. Deep breath in, leaning back and forward. That's 1 and 2. Make sure those knees stay hovering off the floor and you aren't winging those scaps. 5, 6, keeping core tight. 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, and back and hovering for 10, 9, 8. Push your hands away from the floor as you're working, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opening those knees, dropping yourself back onto the floor and leaning into that rest position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up, tucking those toes in to do that same thing, lifting those knees off the floor. Deep breath in, bringing your hands just a little bit more away from that body, lifting those knees and leaning back. That's 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Keep working. Make sure your shoulders aren't going up towards your ears. 5, 6, 7. Keep going. And 8, 9 and 10. Back into that hovering position for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping those knees and leaning into that rest position for one last time. Let's turn over into a seated position. We have our legs extended out in front of us and ankles are comfortably flexed, palms facing each other. Let's inhale and exhale, tucking in head, neck and chest, reaching forward towards your knees, and inhale to pause. Exhale, rolling yourself back up. We're just going to do 4 of these. Deep breath in, exhale, tucking in head, neck and chest, reaching forward and slowly coming back up. That's 2. And stacking that vertebra as you lift. Deep breath in, exhale, tucking in head, neck and chest all the way forward. Inhale, exhale, rolling yourself back up. And last one, we're going to tuck in head, neck and chest, reaching forward as far as we can, flexing those ankles, bringing those knees to the floor as we reach as far forward as we can. Now we're slowly going to bring our knees and ankles to come into contact with another, pointing those toes, inhaling and exhaling, rolling yourself all the way down onto the floor and extending arms overhead and slowly back to your sides and back to center. Let's bring our hands to our sides and feet are 1.5 away from your glutes and a fist distance away from one another. That pelvis is in that horizontal positioning. We're going to tuck and tilt that pelvis up towards the ceiling as we lift those hips off the floor. Lifting, 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 squeezing those heels into the ground and activating those glutes, bringing arms to ceiling, palms facing each other. Deep breath in, exhale, pulling those knees away from each other, then back to center. And as you do so, making sure that those hips don't drop. Very, very important that you're aware of that. So you've got to work extra hard to activate these glute muscles. And let's do 4 more. That's 1, back to center, and 2, and 3, and 4, and little pulsations. Knees are in and you're doing little pulsations up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, making sure that that pelvis is tilted, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting those hips up, lifting right leg into tabletop and extending to align those knees and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that leg down, lifting left leg up into tabletop, aligning those knees and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to tabletop, dropping that leg, lifting those hips to slowly roll that pelvis all the way back down. Hands at your sides, deep breath in, exhale, right knee up, then left knee, placing both hands on that right knee. We're going to inhale and exhale, left leg toe tap back to center into straight leg lower. That's 1. Keeping that core tight. And so it's first a toe tap back to center and then a straight leg lower. That's 3. We're doing 8 on each side. And as you're doing this with your left leg, that right knee is being drawn towards your chest as you resist it with your hands. Keeping core tight. And let's do 2 more. I want you to feel those abs working. And changing over, hands on that left knee, inhale, exhale, toe tap into straight leg lower. That's 1. And I want you to feel this in both sides of your core, even though there are different types of activation. But I want you to really work hard on doing a slow and controlled movement. And let's do 3 more after this one, making sure you're not hyperextending that lower back. last one. And we're going to finish off with a 10-second hold with one hand on each knee. Deep breaths. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hugging those knees to chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet are on the floor, taking a deep breath and lifting those hips back up towards the ceiling. Very nice. Let's keep working. Let's lift that right leg up into tabletop. We're inhaling and bringing hands up towards the ceiling as we exhale. And inhale, exhale, dropping hands overhead as we toe tap them back up. That's 1. And as we're doing this, I want you to lead through that stabilizing heel, making sure those hips stay in the air. 3 and 4 and 5. We're doing 8 of these again with our 10-second hold, and 2 more. And lifting up, extending and aligning those knees for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that leg down, lifting that left leg into tabletop. Deep breath in, exhale, arms overhead as you toe tap. That's 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Leading through that heel, keeping those hips up. Work really hard on drawing that heel towards your glutes as you elevate your hips. And let's do 3 more. That's 1. Keep those hips aligned. 2 and 3. And aligning those knees for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back into tabletop, dropping that leg, lifting those hips to slowly roll those hips all the way back down, and bringing your hands into T position, feet slightly larger than shoulder width apart. Just rocking those knees from side to side, allowing that mobility into those hips. Coming back to center, we're going to interlace our hands comfortably behind our head, taking a deep breath in. We're going to lift head, neck and chest off the floor, then lifting right leg into tabletop, then left leg, and we are slowly going to extend and bend those knees while we make sure that those scaps stay off the ground. That's 2, 3, 4. Keep working. Drawing belly to spine. 5, 6. We're doing 8 of these, followed by some other movements, extending those legs, pointing those toes. We're going to drop those legs down towards the side and circulate back and around into center. That's 1. And if you are struggling, you can bring that head back to the mat. But just make sure you're not hyperextending or bracing that tummy while you're working. And let's do 4 more, sucking in belly to spine. That's 1 and 2 and 3. Last 1 and 4. Coming back to center, bending those legs, bringing arms up and overhead, palms facing the floor into our hundreds for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to interlacing those hands behind your head and straight into tabletop rotations. Inhale, exhale, right rib towards left hip, then back to center. That's 1. Using your core to rotate those ribs. That's 3, 4, 5. We're doing 10 of these. 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Slowly dropping head, neck and chest back to the floor and hugging those knees towards your chest. I want you to grab the inside of your right ankle with your right hand and the inside of your left ankle with your left hand. Pointing those toes, we're just going to bend and extend alternately those legs, allowing a stretch all the way down that hamstring and into those calves or wherever you might feel tight. And again, if you do struggle with that flexibility, it's okay. That's why you're here. We are going to be working on it. Just go as far as you can to allow that stretch. Now let's bring those legs out a little bit more wide and challenge ourselves to get that stretch deeper into that groin. And let's hold on that right leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back, and extending and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming back to center, extending that left leg onto the mat and bring that right leg up towards the ceiling and hugging that knee towards your chest as you point your toes, and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pointing those toes to nose. This is a very uncomfortable one, but it's so good. Let's hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bending that knee and leaning it across the midline all the way, bringing other opposite shoulder into T position and looking in that direction. And deep breaths. Allow that heart rate to slowly come back to rest. And let's extend that right leg, lifting left leg up, pointing those toes towards the ceiling as you draw that knee towards your chest. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pointing toes to nose. And let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bending that left knee, leaning it across the midline all the way to the floor, and bringing that other shoulder into T-point, looking in the opposite direction, and holding for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lifting yourself back up and to center, extending both legs, bringing arms up and overhead. Inhale, bring your arms to the side as we lift head, neck and chest off the floor. Exhale, rolling yourself all the way back up into seated. Well done for completing your first workout for Pilates for runners. I hope that you start seeing the results very soon, but I can assure you, you will definitely start seeing the decrease in injuries and increase in performance as you continue and commit to this new workout program. I will see you in the next video.